Hi, everybody. Rachel Moore with Rachel Moore Coaching. Okay, so when somebody says the word habits to you, what first comes to mind? If you're like most people, then you probably think, okay, habits are things that I do over periods of time, right? But what about the things that you think over periods of time? I'd say probably 9 out of 10 people, when you ask them to tell you what habits are, they would say, oh, they're the things that I do repeatedly. But so often we forget that the things that we think are what determine the things that we do. And so often we're so used to thinking the ways that we're thinking that we don't even recall or understand or recognize, right, that we're thinking certain ways. For example, in one of my recent videos, I shared how to be able to say no without the guilt. And if you forgot that and that's something that you'd like to learn how to do, feel free to go back and watch that video, right? But in that, then I shared that there are usually 3, or a combination of the 3 ways in which most people respond to a request. And they say yes when they want to say no, or there's just an inappropriate or unwanted request that comes in. Usually what people will do is they will accommodate, they will attack, or they will avoid. And the reason why is because they think they have one of 2 options. They either have to say yes to the request as is, or they have to say no to the request as is. And hopefully from my last video, you understand now that there is another way, that there aren't just the options of yes or no to the request that is being brought to you, right? So with that though, then so often we forget that our thoughts determine our actions, that our actions stem out of the thoughts that we have. So our habitual behaviors stem out of our habitual thoughts. So for example, if we're taking all of this into consideration, then think for yourself, when somebody asks you to do something and you find yourself saying yes when you wanted to say no, why did you do that? If you really get clear, it's probably because of something that you thought. Maybe you thought, I have to do it or nobody else will, or they're going to be mad at me if I don't, or they're going to be super sad if I don't do this, whatever that may be, right? So that's probably why you were doing it. Or why did you attack somebody when they asked you to do something so simple? My husband, there are times when I've seen his eyes get really big, right? Whenever he's asked me to do something and my response does not quite equal the request of what it was. And usually it's because when I take the time to actually pay attention, it's because of something I was thinking, right? That's the reason why I responded the way that I responded. And it's the same thing if I'm going to avoid something, it's because I'm thinking that avoiding is better than just acknowledging that I saw a request, or acknowledging that I see a person that I don't want to talk to, or whatever it may be, right? So I would invite you just to create a little bit more awareness for yourself. If you really are wanting to change your life and change your behaviors and change the things that you no longer want to be doing, or start doing things that you do want to be doing, then it all goes back to your thoughts. So I invite you to play a game this next week, right? Whenever somebody asks you to do something, or whenever you find yourself singing Britney Spears song, oops, I did it again, right? You find yourself singing that over and over and over. I know I've done that in my head multiple times. Then if you find yourself doing that, then go back and think, what was I thinking at the time? Because if you think, oh my gosh, why in the world did I do that again? Ask yourself, what was I thinking? And I bet you're going to find answers in there. Were you thinking the reason why you snapped? Were you thinking that, oh, that person is just such a jerk, or that person's so selfish, or that person is so mean, or I have to do it, or no one else will? Or were you thinking, if I don't avoid them, then, or if I don't want to go away, then it's just going to get bad, or I just don't know what to say, so I have to avoid them? It's probably because of your thoughts that determined your response. And I'm not by any means saying that you can control your thoughts, okay? You can't control your thoughts. However, you can decide whether they control you. So have fun with it. Enjoy. Become aware. Start changing your life for the better by changing the way that you're thinking. Thanks so much for watching, guys. Have a great one. Bye.